Now y'all tell me this, answer me this, right? How is 2 titles vacant? 2 fucking titles vacant, and I'm not fighting for either one of them. That shit don't make sense, bro. I was supposed to fight for the WBA. You saw what they did, right? And now the WBC, they got Ramirez and Jose Zepeda fighting each other for the WBC. And how I'm not even in the mix. First off, my last fight was a mandatory. If you know what mandatory means, that means I'm supposed to be next. I'm supposed to be right there next, right? What the fuck is going on, bro? Like, for real, what is going on? How am I even not fighting for either one of them? This shit is insane. Like, this shit not making sense. This shit is insane, bro. I don't even know what to say, bro.
What's going on, you guys? Amongst all the popular topics that's been circulating through the boxing community for the past several weeks, then we have some other fights that's coming up later on this month in November. November 26th to be exact, and it's a fight between former unified champion Regis Prograis and Zepeda. Now they're going to be going up against each other for Josh Taylor's vacant WBC super lightweight title. And that fight itself should be a really good fight. Really, really good fight. Big fan of Rougarou. He's finally getting his shot, right? After dealing with the politics, you seen a clip prior to the video starting, right? And this was before he was granted the mandatory spot or granted the position to fight for the vacant title. They was going to give it to Jose Ramirez before that, and Jose Ramirez opted out of it because of conflicting timing with his wedding or something to that degree, right? But yeah, Jose Ramirez throughout the past has never really seemed too interested in fighting Regis Prograis. If you've been following the super lightweight division, you know, if you haven't been indulged totally in the welterweight division or some of the other more popular divisions, if you've been paying attention to the other divisions of boxing, you'll notice over the years that Jose Ramirez seemed very reluctant on fighting Regis Prograis. For whatever reason, he didn't really want to mention his name. And we've seen things like this happen in boxing before, these scenarios to where a guy is in position, and then there's another guy who may be in position or close to being in position, and then that guy don't want to really mention that guy's name, even though they should be on a collision course and facing each other. We've seen it before with Devin Haney and Lomachenko. We've seen it with Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, and the list goes on, right? We've seen this before in boxing. But it's also the case for Regis Prograis and Jose Ramirez. But now all of a sudden, since Jose Ramirez has since fallen from grace, lost to Josh Taylor, you know, he had a couple of fights since then, but ever since then, he just now seemed interested in fighting Regis Prograis. And he says this: honestly, I would love to face Regis because I've never faced him. Now, I think that's cap. Because it was many instances where he could have fought Regis Prograis. He just seemed to just completely overlook the guy. It's one of the less popular divisions in boxing, right? It's one of the less popular topics, so fans ain't really stick to it like they did with Keith Thurman and Spence or Lomachenko and Devin, right? But it happened. Regis Prograis this dude didn't want to go anywhere near Rougarou the werewolf, right? Nowhere near him. But he says he's want to fight him because he never fight him. Yeah, you want to fight him now because Regis Prograis is about to be a champion. And really, what other options is for Jose Ramirez other than moving up to 147? Then he says, I would love to make the rematch with Zepeda because he's such a good fighter. Obviously, I want Josh Taylor. Man, I want Taylor bad. So he wants the rematch with Taylor. We saw how that fight played out, right? And of course, Josh Taylor himself has to have a rematch with Jack Catterall. I'm not sure. See, it sucks for Catterall because he's not going to have a chance to be undisputed champion now. You know, Josh Taylor vacated all the belts. You know, it costs to be a champion. And let's be honest, Josh Taylor isn't a guy who's bringing in the big dough like some of the other more popular champions in the sport of boxing. So he had to let some of them belts go. And then it says, however, Prograis has questioned why his rival is now keen to face him rather than when he was a champion. See, this goes back to what I was saying. He didn't want to fight Rougarou back when he was a champion. He didn't want to go nowhere near him. He went other routes. And then Regis says this: I think he's next in line. It's kind of like the situation with Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. When Keith Thurman was champion, he never wanted to give Errol Spence a shot. And as we all know, right? We all know that was the case. You know, even Rougarou acknowledges this. Even Rougarou have seen this, right? We've seen these scenarios before in boxing, people. So now Errol Spence is a champion. He wants to fight Errol Spence. So for me, Ramirez, when he was the regular champion, they made me the interim champion. So me and him were supposed to fight and we never fought. So it's like now all of a sudden you want to fight me so bad. But what happened 4 or 5 years ago? Me and him was supposed to fight a long time ago. Just the roles reversed, that's all. And it's just kind of funny how things start to play out now. And that's how it usually plays out in boxing, people. A guy may be in one position, right? A other guy may be, you know, like a step down or whatever. And that guy that's in position never gives that guy a shot, even though he's really supposed to be fighting that guy. Never gives him a shot. He falls from grace. Now that guy's in position. Now he's calling the shots, right? We see this with Devin and Loma. Devin and Loma look like they're going to fight now. Back when Loma was the man, oh, well, they put a franchise tag on him. They did all this and that and third. Loma said he didn't want it, he didn't do it, but maybe his team did it. So it's still Loma doing it. And now Devin is in position. Devin is likely going to give Loma a shot. Paulie don't believe so, but I think it's going to happen. Errol Spence Jr., Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was high side on Spence. I said it in my more recent videos. He was high side on Spence. Yeah, he's not on my to-do list and all this other stuff, right? Now that the big fish Errol Spence is in position, things are a little bit different, right? That's why I say, you guys, these fighters need to be mindful, because you may not always be in position. And even though that fight may be tough, I think it may be the right move just to take that tough fight. You just never know, man. I mean, you at Rougarou's mercy. Keith Thurman's at Spence's mercy. Lomachenko's at Devin's mercy, right? Of course, the boxing world will force a lot of these fights to happen. Sanction bodies will step in and make some of these fights happen. But we've seen this before, people. Jose Ramirez, we'll see what happens for him. I'm looking forward to seeing Regis Prograis and Zepeda fight. I think that should be a really good fight. Yeah, now I'm looking forward to seeing the Regis Prograis Zepeda fight. It should be a good fight, man. Zepeda can punch. He got a little momentum right now. He's been on somewhat of a tear, so that should be a good fight. And Rougarou, I think he's underrated, right? I've said in the past, I feel that he's underrated. I feel that he needs another shot, another opportunity. I also felt that if that fight with Taylor was anywhere else other than Taylor's home country of Scotland, I think Rougarou would have got the decision. But, hey, I could be wrong. That's just my opinion on that. Big fan of Rougarou. I like Zepeda, and I'm looking forward to seeing who wins that fight. Whoever wins is going to be the WBC super lightweight champion, and then some of the young guns coming up is going to have to deal with one of those two guys. Tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.